Hey there, everyone. This is Ryan J. Owens. I own and manage EliteVolley.com athletes. These are athletes that are trying to go to U.S. and or pro teams abroad. If you come into this, make sure that you have your mic muted for any of my players because I assume some of my players are going to join. If not, I will try to mute you really quickly. But I'll just wait for some of the athletes to join. But what we're going to talk about for the next 30 or less minutes, hopefully, is how you can prepare for pro season, because this is a big thing. I'm setting up the title and everything. I'm doing all of this on the fly, so hopefully this will help everyone. And all this stuff is stuff I had to learn so randomly, and YouTube everything. So, all right, we're set up. Alrighty. So the last session I just did, if you didn't see it, go check it out. It's if you don't have a contract, what to do. Guess what? Sometime you're going to not have a contract and so many of your friends will, and you're going to start to get stressed. Because I do. And I still have to manage that stress. And it's much better after 12 years, but it's still hard to deal with. And it's still hard to say, hey, refocus. What can I do? I can't do anything other than control my actions and my work ethic. And that means my work ethic on the field, on the court, outside of it, internally, both externally and internally for myself, not for other people. So my actions and my thoughts. All right. So today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on a game plan. First, we're going to do some common mistakes for how to prepare for pro season. So if you are one of my players that joins this and you want to ask questions, then you just find the little chat box that is probably to the left. If you hover over the left of your screen, there should be a chat. And then you type in that chat box whatever questions you have. Anyways, and I'll try and hit those up at the end. So common mistakes. Common mistakes when you have a pro deal, and you may not even have a pro deal. You might be waiting, for instance, to go to school overseas, like you're a foreigner trying to come to America or Canada, and you have that deal, you have the school, sorry, and you're just like, how do I get started? Well, first of all, you need to start moving. You need to start doing stuff. You cannot sit idly and wait, because one of the things I see, for instance, for my American players, because we have over 30 players this year with Elite, and in the past I've seen this time and time again, and some players get away with it because they're in excellent shape or they get in crazy shape pretty fast, but most don't, and it looks poorly on them. And generally the first month or two, I'm always dealing with, hey, really talented player, but a little out of shape. And guess what? When things aren't going well, they just stop talking to me. I know when things aren't going well, when I try to write a team and they don't say anything back to me about my player, I know that something is not going great. And she is to blame in some way. Either it's her fault or it's the team just, maybe she's been complaining about things that are contractual. And I tell my players, do not complain about things contractual. So make sure that you show up to season in shape, preseason in shape. Worst mistake is not moving. Second worst mistake is not having a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're screwed from the start. So make sure that you build a team. When you build a team for your professional career, that's how you have to start thinking about it. How were you in school? And I'm speaking to mostly American players right now. You had a coach, you had an assistant coach, and then you might have had like 5 or 6 other assistants or whatever's around that were doing stuff for you. Maybe you didn't have that many, but everybody's doing something for you in college volleyball, because even on my crappy NAI and JUCO teams, there were people doing stuff for us, even though there weren't as many. We also had the athletic trainer. We had a strength and conditioning coach at school. And so you basically sometimes you might have a nutritionist. You might have a mental coach at some schools. Some you might have a life coach, which is really important. If anyone knows what I'm doing with Beyond Athletic and elite sports students, we're working on that whole aspect. You need to get all of those. So that's part of the game plan that we're gonna talk about. And the last mistake is that you're not figuring out what other successful pros are doing. You have to upgrade your knowledge platform. So if you're coming from college and you're moving into pro, don't think that it's just going to be like this easy transition. No, it's not going to be easy at all, because you're going to a foreign country. They're not going to speak your language. You're not going to speak their language. The style of volleyball is going to be different. The style of training is going to be different. The style of weights and conditioning is going to be different. I can't tell you how many pros are like, oh my gosh, I hate going abroad because the first few weeks we run like crazy. Yeah, prepare for that. You're probably going to do a lot of long distance running. Is it the right thing to do? Research says no, but it's debatable because a lot of Europeans still do it. In Korea, I did it. Holy crap, we ran so far. But it was kind of dope because it was a team bonding thing for me. It was just like, all right, let me set up this competition, this fun little thing back and forth with my teammates. And, you know, we were running on this hill outdoors in nature. It was beautiful, overlooking the city where we were, Incheon. I just made it into a game. But then again, I was in shape for that. And I wasn't in peak shape that year because that was a year I made a big mistake. I was, you know, bartending for the summer on like basically a Greek island. And I was doing kettlebell because it was all I had, and I was stretching. And I would try and touch a volleyball. Could I have done more? Probably. Was I in like horrible situation, stress for money and psychologically and alone and all that stuff? Yeah, and it contributed. But that's another point that I want to put on this, which is you have to upgrade your knowledge base and you have to upgrade your effort base. If you don't understand that the next level means a ton more work and a ton more intelligence about your volleyball IQ, your strength IQ, your diet, nutrition IQ, your social IQ, adapting to other languages, cultures, blah, blah, blah. Your ability to leave everything you know behind and be someplace where you don't know anything for sure. Everything is different, and you have to be there for 6 to 8 months. If you're not ready for that, you have to get ready for it. BeyondAthletic.com is a ton of episodes with professional players that have been there, done it, and are doing it. Go listen to those episodes. Listen to those pros. Listen to as many as possible, because guess what? There are little tidbits in every single one. Some are going to resonate. Some you won't have thought about at all. Some you might go, eh, and then you'll experience and you go, oh, okay, I got it. There's a lot of information in there. So start with that, network from there, contact those pros, hit them up. You go, hey, I heard your podcast episode on Beyond Athletic. Just thought maybe we could be in touch. Or if you have a specific question for them, ask them a question. So how to game plan for this. Those are the common mistakes. You're not moving. You don't have a plan. You're not asking, communicating with players, and then you're not upgrading to a new level. You're not understanding that, yeah, you might go to a country where you're playing with young kids and whatever because you got to get your foot in the door, and you're still playing pro volleyball. You are probably the only pro on that team making money and not having a job outside of it. But you still have to dominate. You still have to absolutely annihilate everybody in that. You have to deal with bad sets. You have to deal with good sets. You have to deal with a crazy coach. You have to deal with a good coach. You have to deal with not learning the language, whatever. There's all these different things. So how to game plan. Create your team. Number one, create your team for your professional career. Best thing is you want to hire a strength and conditioning coach. If that means that you're doing it for super cheap or through friends and family discount, do that. Your strength and conditioning coach at your college is probably going to be good, especially if you're at a huge, Pac-12, Big Ten, whatever school. If you're not, the chances is that your person is as good as it gets for that level. Maybe there's a few outliers, but when you think somebody is the best, typically there is someone better, because that's just the nature of competition. So find some of the best in sport, find out who other pros are using, who Olympic level athletes are using, try and figure it out. Google that kind of stuff. Trainers for Olympians, strength and conditioning coaches for Olympians or pro volleyball players. Tweet it, Facebook it. Build your team. Start with the strength and conditioning coach. Get, I would say, a flexibility and mobility coach, which is probably going to be your best yoga place. Look it up. Look at the Yelp reviews. Try and find out if taller people or really athletic, like not your average Joe people, like athletes, are using that. There's an interesting person. She goes by Joga, Joga. She has some stuff that's free online, maybe a course. There's some free apps that if you can't get someone, just use those. I use Yoga Studio. That's a fantastic one. So strength and conditioning, flexibility and mobility coach. That could be yoga. Kelly Starrett is amazing. I would buy his book, Becoming a Supple Leopard. Holy crap. If I had that at the beginning of my career, I could only imagine like where I'd be now without a lot of injuries. And I didn't even have that many injuries. So it helps you because injuries put you back a step. And while I've done a lot of mobility and a lot of flexibility and a lot of strength and conditioning, and I've tried to maintain myself throughout the years, you can always be better. So why not try to be better? He's got a lot of free stuff on YouTube. If you want to buy his stuff, get either his book, Becoming a Supple Leopard, or go to mobilitywod.com. So mobilitywod.com, pay for that membership and get access to an incredible amount of stuff. Like well, crap you not. Listen to his episode on Beyond Athletic. I was so upset when that recorded the wrong way, but I tried to get it as great as possible to hear. Dude is a guru. The best strength and conditioning and also trainers are paying attention to him. The best ones I know. And I'm literally Team Serbia, Team America, the best volleyball clubs in the world that I have access to, and teams. I try to go to their trainers and their strength and conditioning people and go, who inspires you? Who gets you, the best information that's new? And this guy's name kept coming up. Get yourself a mental coach. If you can't get a mental coach or you can't get any of these coaches in any way, guess what? You don't need a physical coach. Get a book. Look up on Amazon. I have a Google Amazon link that I put some of my favorite books and some athletes that have recommended books to me. I put those books on that list. Becoming a Supple Leopard is one of them. There's one something like Becoming Superman or something like that. There's one called The Mental Edge. There's another one called Relentless by Tim S. Grover, who was the trainer for Michael Jordan. So probably knows what he's talking about. There's some other ones out there that are incredible. Look, like cross-train mentally, like how, or educationally. Find out what Navy SEALs do. Find out what the world's elite, like people who are going to war and things like this, who are in crazy situations that need to stay awake, that need to stay strong, that need to stay focused. Find out what they're doing. Another way to build a team is get a nutritionist or find a plan that works for you. I don't believe in dieting, like as in I got a fad. I believe in just eating consistently and regularly. And if you want to splurge, you want to go crazy on some things that you just happen to love, whether that's, I don't know, beef or that's plants or that's sugar stuff, try and get the cleanest source of it that you can. My advice to you from athlete to athlete, try to eat super clean. So get your diet together. And part of building your team, you need to have a diet plan. How am I going to eat this summer to get rid of the bad habits that I had? If I eat the wrong way, how am I going to punish myself to hold myself accountable? The next thing you want to do for your team is you want to grab somebody, a peer, and have an accountability partner. For my girls at Elite, you have all these girls that you could just like write in our group, hey, anybody want to be my accountability partner? People are going to raise their hands or whatever. Team up with somebody. Let's do a 10-day challenge for flexibility. Let's do a 10-day challenge for this. Let's do a month challenge for eating. Let's do, track your weight, track your body fat, track whatever. Vertical. We had a thing for volley jump with Reed's workouts on Vertical. You should check him out. If you don't know Reed, Reed Hall is the owner of Reed's Workouts and the creator of Volley Jump. His programs are amazing. I use them. Dustin Wadden, a good friend of mine, recommended him to me when I couldn't get our USA strength and conditioning coach. I couldn't pay them to help me. Of course, they weren't going to do it, but I tried anyways because, listen, I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. So there are the best ones: strength and conditioning, mobility, flexibility, nutrition, mind, and And then social health is the accountability partner. You want to have strong social health. So what I would say is if you're signed, get a teammate that's on your team. Like, hopefully see if your team manager or coach, probably is better to hit up your coach. If you're with me, then you were on a welcome email to your team and you have your coach's info. Say, hey, is there a Facebook group, or is there some kind of group where all of the girls are together, only the players, where I can talk with them? If there's not, ask if you can set one up and get their numbers, put them on Telegram or put them on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. Make a group and go, hey, you know, anybody interested in doing this challenge with me and my accountability partner, or like we're doing through our agency or through our school, whatever. Okay. So you build your team. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to train your ass off. You have to take yourself to a new limit. The way you can do that is a lot of players don't understand how valuable it is to have a vision and goal. So if you don't already have that, make it. That's part of being prepared. And like when you're building your team, make that vision and goal. My vision for sport, my vision for life. You could go into my vision for business, but basically what I would like to accomplish. If I finish, how would I like to say, like, what would I like to say I accomplished? So for instance, my vision for volleyball is, it used to be that I wanted to be an Olympian and be the best player I could be in as many areas as I could in pro volleyball. Well, I kind of whittled that down and changed it. I played for the national team for 5 years. And then I realized, okay, for indoor, it's really hard still. But for beach, I could probably make a go at that if I still want to try and be national team. Plus, I know at 35, I'm still competing as if I'm in my mid-20s. So why not pivot, change my vision, and say, okay, I'd like to make a national team, again, make the beach national team in so many years, and hopefully get to, I think I put 2 international tours, top 4. That was what I said that I want to do. And for indoor, it was have seasons that, you know, personally I can feel happy about, and that I'm ranked top 5 in that country for each skill that I'm good at, which is service, attacking, and blocking. So when you start training, you have this vision in your goals, write them down for the day. If it's a strength and conditioning thing, you know what you did the last time on the weight that you were trying to work with, you know, or the certain move that you're trying to do. Try and do that better. That's your goal. Write it down before you start, so that when you get to it, you're like, okay, I got this. Next thing you want to do is you want to, once you're training and you're doing all that, show the world that you're doing it. Promote it, promote it, promote it. Tag your team, tag your agency, tag your teammates, tag everybody, okay? How you do this without saying to blow up their inbox on Facebook or on Instagram, make sure that you tag them in the comments or in the actual text of your post. Don't put with this person. The next thing that you can do is, so once you have your platform, you're posting, you're doing all that stuff, the last thing that you can do is communicate with others and see, is your status, are you where you should be? And how you can do that is you can get video. I like to film myself all the time. If I'm attacking, I film it, I look at it. And then what I like to do is I say to somebody that I know is really good at that, hey, do you see anything with this? I can go to a player, I can go to a coach. So I hope that's helpful. That's everything that I would say that you can be doing in the preseason. Areas that, or a couple of common areas that I do see people fail is that they think they're training hard and they're not, and they think they're recovering well and they're not. So check with people and go, hey, is this the kind of training that I should be doing, you know? Check with like pros, current pros, people that are playing at the level that you want to play at, or if they haven't played at the level you want to play at, get whatever you have for that moment and then just keep trying to upgrade. Recovery includes, just to throw this in there, if you're not recovering well over the summer, you're screwing all of the hard work you're doing. Recovery starts with hydration. Hydration starts with not just drinking water, but getting your electrolytes. That does not mean sports drinks. Trust me, stay away from them. They're BS. They have a lot of artificial crap, and they're actually not helping your body. If you're drinking fructose or eating fructose while you're trying to hydrate, it's not going to hydrate you as well. Drinking just straight sucrose in terms of like white sugar, cane sugar, brown sugars, all this stuff, you're still not doing it the right way. The best way is you can find, for instance, maple syrup is a good way, dates, and then sea salt. And I like to put something like roots because they have a lot of minerals. So maca, that's a good root. It tastes good too. And I like to throw in some things for brain health, which would be like a mushroom mix of some kind. Check out, I think it's like 4 Sigma or something like that. They make a great mushroom product. But basically hydrate. And then the best way to recover is to compress your body. So your legs or your arms, whatever you worked out really hard, try to compress that area and then keep those muscles moving. So if you have an E-stem, hook up your E-stem for your legs. If you had leg day or if you had upper body day, hook it up for that. And just do 10, 15 minutes as you're eating or as you're sitting, watching whatever you're doing or reading. And then the last thing is make sure that you sleep. If you're not sleeping 8 to 9 hours when you're training really hard, you are not going to recover well because you need to get enough REM sleep for your body to truly recover. And your body only recovers when you're in deep REM sleep. If you don't know what that is, just Google it. All right. So I hope that helped. If anybody has questions, I don't see any here, then ask them. I don't see any, but I think that as we do these more often, more people are going to be on this. If you like this, if you learned anything, if you know anybody preparing for their pro season and you think this could help them, please share it out. And thanks for joining and liking this and sharing it if you do. Later.